Hello. I feel like it's been so long since I've done a video. So this week we're going to talk about a question that I've said a little bit too many times, so I'm going to try and answer it here for you. What is the difference between gelatin and collagen? Why should I take it? Does the quality of it really matter? And how could it possibly improve my skin? All right, we'll dive in. I've got here with me some collagen and gelatin powders. So we're going to discuss them. All right, so this is what they look like. We'll start with collagen. All right. Firstly, yes, these guys are the skin of an animal. This one is marine, being fish, and this one is bovine, being a cow. Collagen, it is the skin which is very close, bovine is very close to human. So in some studies I've read that there is a little bit more benefit in those that will take the bovine. However, for people who don't feel comfortable, we've always got the marine option. They have a different spectrum of amino acids. Collagens are pretty much anti-inflammatory. So our skin is made of collagen, our hair, our nails, our joints, our ligaments, and our organ tissue. In Chinese medicine, they say if you're going to eat an animal, eat the part that you're trying to improve in your own health. So all of those areas of our health are breaking down and deteriorating. So there is a lot of benefits in adding collagen into your daily diet. If you do eat meat, that's the muscle of the animal. And a lot of us don't have wasting away muscles, which means that I personally choose to focus on the collagens and the gelatins opposed to the muscle. So with this, you'll see it says hydrolyzed collagen. What does that mean? Hydrolyzed means it's pre-digested. So you probably will find it will absorb very rapidly into your system. Gelatin is not hydrolyzed. It is more the meaty part of the gelatin. It hasn't been put through that manufacturing process. So how I add them into my daily diet simply is with gelatins, I just add that into anything I heat. So I might add that into my hummus dips. It doesn't really have a flavor, so you won't really notice it unless these things go cold. It'll have a gelatinous effect. I quite like it in my dips, and I make lots of seed and herby vegetable dips and so forth, and that's hidden in there, and that'll bring in that collagen, which is just pure protein, no fat, no carb. And then I also find if I'm making a soup or a sauce or anything like that, I'll just sneak a little bit of gelatin in. So really easy, and it's really affordable. Gelatin's very, very cheap. So it's an anti-inflammatory amino profile, which is going to directly affect your organs. So particularly with gut, most of our guts, I find all day, I see leaky gut. Symptoms of leaky gut can be acne, psoriasis, eczema, anything, rashes, irritation. You know, the walls of the gastrointestinal lining has become slightly permeable. Chemical load, toxic load, molds, mercuries, all of these create constant kind of permeability in the small and large intestine. And the problem with this is when the food gets down there, it goes, I'm just going to go through this little hole. And what's meant to happen when our food gets into our large intestine, the bacteria should be breaking that down and fermenting it. So then it's become a small molecule structure and ready to then simply sneak through the tight junctions of the gut. So if they're too big, it's a little bit like a fly screen. You know, it's designed to let the air in, but the nasty insects out. But once you've got someone went in there and poked holes from, let's say, wheat or chemical load, or maybe it's just your cortisol level's been spiking because you've got a high pressure job and you're not recovering every day, those leakiness needs to be patched back up. So that's where collagens can be a part of our nutrition. I see less of these supplements as supplements and more of them like food. So instead of eating, let's say, protein, and if you are eating meat in a meal, that's quite inflammatory, being the muscle. So adding a little bit of collagen and gelatin into your diet is going to be anti-inflammatory. So it's going to counter counterbalance. The other great thing is if you're buying a good quality, you want to make sure it's sourced from a really good quality, because if the animal has had a lot of exposure to chemicals, particularly things like they've been eating a lot of GMOs or glyphosates and pesticides and stuff like that, that's then going to be stored in the animal tissue. So we're trying to make sure that they're organic, pasture raised, and from ethical sourcing. So in that way that we know that we're not eating a whole lot of chemicals as well. So the quality of them definitely matters, and that's why I spend a lot of time researching and finding brands and companies that are on the same page with what I want to be putting into my own body. Using these daily, I've noticed a huge impact in skin. Why? Okay, so firstly, I know it's repairing my gut lining. So that's great, because when I eat all my healthy foods and I take the good quality supplementation, I know that I'm going to absorb it more, which means I'm not just taking lots of stuff and then having expensive evacuations. You want it to be absorbing, and if things aren't absorbing, you're going to be low in key nutrition, which then is going to throw your hormones out, and you're going to see that show up in digestive stress, and the list goes on and on. And we know that our skin is our external gut. It's simply a mirror of what our gut looks like. So if I had a texture and I draw a line, this is my external gut. So I can see what's going on in my skin without spending a lot of money on expensive testing. So daily making sure I've got some things to support the lining of the gut, because chemicals and inflammatory markers are very easy to get trapped in there, and a lot of people aren't maybe as disciplined as me, where they've completely removed sugar, completely removed GMO wheats and foods and crops and things like that. But even with me, when I travel, it's hard to be so sure of what's gone in there, and I've had exposure to lots of heavy metals and molds, and gosh, I've been bitten by a snake before. So all of this is going to create a lot of havoc on your organs. So daily, when you eat food, it should be nourishing to repair organ tissue, and your skin is your largest organ. So if you are feeding it good quality collagens and gelatins, it will pay you back in bucket loads. So instead of spending lots of money on organic meat, maybe half that and bring in some collagens and gelatins. And if you're plant-based, which I am, I don't eat any meat, but I do use some plant-based supplements that I need for my system. So I use beef liver capsules, I use cod liver oils, I use fish oils. These are really enhance my health, and we're all snowflakes, we're all quite unique. So it's nice that we have options. So collagens, these are very easy to digest. They're cold water soluble, so they're very easy to be used in smoothies and hot chocolates, and I know people just put them in water and get them in because they've seen the benefits in their own health. So they're very easy to digest. And gelatin is a little bit more meaty in a sense that it's more food-like. And that one is really lovely to be brought into your cooking and snuck in there. A lot of parents with kids make them into healthy little jelly gummies and things like that. I used to do a bit of that. I'm not so fancy anymore. I kind of want to make my food as nourishing as I possibly can. So that's where I just bring it into what I already eat: soups, stews, hummusy, seedy, herby dips, things like that. I just sneak it in to the meals, and that way the meal is more filling, satisfying, and I see the payoff in my nails. Like, they just grow like wildfire these days. If you knew me when I was a kid, I could never grow my nails, but I grew up completely no animal, and my body obviously needed a little bit, but as you get older, you don't need as much starch and stodgy foods. You need a lot more like collagens, and because the digestion becomes weaker with mileage, unless you're really working on it, it's really nice to know gelatins, and particularly the hydrolyzed collagens. They're really easy to digest. The body doesn't have to work very hard, so they're instantly going to go to work to help your profile for your muscles, for your joints, for your ligaments, hair, skin, and nails. So that's my big breakdown of gelatins and collagens. Hopefully that will inspire you to play with them a little bit more. I literally have quite a lot in my diet. I've been creeping more and more up just to see what would happen. I've definitely seen my hair get thicker. My hair, skin and nails and gut all feels really, really nice, and you get a lot full from the meals. You're getting that protein level up without even trying, so that's really lovely too. So yeah, so that's a bit about it. Have a little bit, if you have questions, please let me know. I'm happy to answer any. Just put them in the comments below, and I wish you a beautiful day. Bye for now.